Hello, BCC. This is the announcement you have been waiting for. In just a few minutes, you will get to see your final lead pastor candidate. But first, we'd like to tell you a little bit about him and the journey that we've been on.
We started this process about 18 months ago. With your help, we spent a few months hosting the listening sessions and learning from you. Then we spent more time creating a church profile, crafting and wrestling with what would become the final job description for our new lead pastor.
And after posting the job, we received over 30 applicants, and we spent most of the fall diligently working through every applicant. And eventually we interviewed a handful and then whittling it down to only a few. And through the winter, we completed the interviews, faced the task of selecting just one candidate, and we were respectfully careful during this step to avoid temptations to rush a decision. Sometimes we paused to pray, and other times we were fasting to guide us through this decision.
It wasn't easy, and the process dealt a few unforeseen challenges. But through it all, we were confident in God's plan. Our efforts peaked in May when we recommended a candidate to the lead team. The lead team has now affirmed this candidate, and we are ready to introduce him to you.
The candidate we are presenting to you today is solidly grounded in Scripture and theologically sound. Good at clarifying Scripture's relevance to today, he's willing to tackle tough subjects. He's energized by helping others find their callings and grow into them in a supportive, collaborative setting. He has a gentle heart, a pastoral heart, a sense of humor, and is intentional with his words. He asks good questions and is an excellent listener. Wise beyond his years, we are excited to recommend to you this person of integrity, this person of prayer.
We recognize that in this day, the instant we say his name, most of us will be searching for him on Facebook, Instagram, Google, social media of your choice. But that's not how we want you to meet him for the first time. We've asked him to film a short video to introduce himself today and to tell us a bit about why he feels called to BCC. So we humbly ask that you put your phones down, tablets, and other devices for just the next few minutes. Take a pause from that and resist the temptation to look him up right now, and let your first meeting with him be this video.
Well, hello, Bellingham Covenant Church. My name's Phil Rushton, and it's just a real privilege and joy to have the opportunity to be considered for the lead pastor position up in Bellingham. Just wanted to introduce my family briefly, but you're going to have a chance to get to know them more in coming weeks. We're looking forward to having a chance to be up with you and meet you in person soon. But I'm married to Julie, and we're coming up to our 14th anniversary next week. And we have 3 boys, James, who is 8, and he just finished 2nd grade, and then twins Andrew and Nate, who turned 3 today. So as you can imagine, we've had a busy couple of years, and it's been particularly busy during this quarantine time. But today, the search team asked me to reflect on this question, why Bellingham Covenant Church? And to share just a little bit of my discernment process as I've been listening with you, praying with you as we seek God's leading for the future of BCC. There's a well-known quote from Frederick Buechner that you may have heard before, but he says that we discern our vocation at the intersection of the heart's deep passions and the world's great needs. So when we tap into those things that we're passionate about and see how that meets a deep need in the world, that's where vocation is found. And for me, that's intersection has taken place in the context of pastoral ministry. And as I've been getting to know you and talking with leadership, I've just sensed an alignment in a lot of ways around some of the passions I bring towards ministry and some of the gifts and longings that you have for church up in Bellingham. So a few of the things that I'm really passionate about as I imagine partnering together is, first of all, just the ministry of preaching and teaching. That's something I'm really excited about. preaching not just for information, but for transformation. And I've just really seen a desire for going deep in the Word and being part of God's formative process in our lives up at your church. Another deep joy that I find in ministry is carrying and coming alongside people and helping them discern God's leading in their life. Pastoral care and counseling has been a big part of my ministry down here for the last 10 years. And I've just noticed as I've gotten to know your congregation that there is a real culture of care for one another. I've had a chance to visit BCC a couple times over the years, and both times it was during the prayer of healing service. And I was just deeply moved seeing the way that you cared for and ministered to one another. And another passion for me is to help churches move outside of their walls and find ways to engage culture in meaningful ways, particularly in a Pacific Northwest context. And I've just heard a longing from your leadership and in the things I've been reading and seeing to find ways to continue to become healthy and missional as we live out our faith in Whatcom County. The last thing I'd say is that I just feel really a call to be part of a reconciling community. I've often found myself called to those center spaces where we make room for people that are of different generations, maybe different perspectives, but to find unity among our common call to follow Jesus. I guess the last thing I'd say about discernment is we've been discerning together as a family and just really see this as a great time and a place where our family could reconnect with some of our immediate family up in Whatcom County, and we could just really imagine our boys being discipled and loved well in your church community. So bless you. Thank you for your faithfulness over these last years, and we're looking forward to seeing you soon. God bless, and we'll be in touch. Bye.
BCC, as your search team, we humbly thank you for your prayers and support. We are excited about the path ahead, and we hope with this announcement, you are too.
We recognize this brief announcement, introduction of Phil, is only the first step, and you likely will have many questions. So in the coming weeks, we and the lead team will be gathering questions from you and recording brief interviews with Phil to answer your questions directly. Please send any and all questions to us via the transition@bellinghamcov.org email address. That's transition@bellinghamcov.org, or contact any lead team or search team member directly.
Also, you can find further details and information about Phil posted on our webpage by the conclusion of today's service. There you can find some highlights from Phil's resume, family photos, and other online information about Phil. We'll be posting this video and further videos with Phil on the webpage as well, so stay tuned.
We're really excited to hear the news about Phil and Julie. And I just wanted to be sure that we had take a second to thank the search team again for all the time and energy and the sacrifices they made to get us to this point. It was about a month ago that the search team advanced Phil's name to the lead team. And part of our process is that it would be then approved by the lead team. Well, we had a chance to have Phil and Julie come out and meet us face to face, and along with staff. And after that, the lead team voted unanimously to have Phil come out to meet our congregation. And the way our process works, according to the bylaws, is that the congregation will meet the candidate and then vote on whether or not to extend a call to that candidate. So the next step is to have a congregational meeting, and we spoke with Phil and his wife, and we thought the weekend of July 19th would be a good weekend for this to happen. And so pencil it in on your calendars, and I'm almost positive it's going to be that. Don't hold me to that, but it looks like that's what the date that it's going to be. And it could be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so I wanted to get those dates into your hands as soon as possible. We're so thankful. We're excited. We're grateful.